In this forecast video, we are providing everyone with an update on Hurricane Ian. Right now, it is a Category 3 hurricane and it is expected to strengthen into a Category 4. Major landfall in Florida. We are expecting historic impacts. This is a storm like we've never seen before in this part of Florida. We need to be ready for this, and we're going to have all the details in this video, so make sure you watch till the end. Alrighty, welcome back into another more weather forecast video. Let's get right into things, and as you can see here, from my last update, the track for Hurricane Ian has shifted to a little bit to the south. So right now, Hurricane Ian is just to the west of Key West right now. We are feeling those impacts in Key West as well as there in Dry Tortugas. Expect that as we go into later tonight, and then as we go into early tomorrow morning, expect those impacts to let up a little bit. And then as we go into later tomorrow, we are expecting landfall in somewhere near Sarasota and Fort Myers, and somewhere in between those two cities, we are expecting a major likely high-end Category 3 hurricane with Ian here to make landfall. The impacts are going to be very significant, so let's get right into what we're expecting here, looking at our National Hurricane Center forecast here. So let's look at the track of this storm, and right now we do have a pretty outlined track that probably isn't going to change that much as we go into the future. This is a pretty set in stone track. This is likely what's going to happen here. So as you can see here, by the time we go into late tomorrow, probably afternoon into the evening, we are expecting this to landfall there in Florida, just to the south of Tampa, so Sarasota, Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and areas in between. That's where we're expecting Ian to landfall, and that's where we're expecting our biggest impacts right here. So as we go into early tomorrow morning, this is expected to become a even more major hurricane than it already is. It's expected to become a Category 4 and likely make landfall in Florida here as a maybe Category 4, but likely a high-end Category 3 hurricane. It doesn't matter. The impacts are still going to be very bad. Either way, it doesn't matter if it's a low-end Category 4 or high-end Category 3. It's going to be very bad here. And we're looking at the storm surge right now. This is going to be one of the biggest issues here. The forecast has shifted to the south. The worst of the storm surge forecast has shifted to the south here. As you can see, less storm surge in Tampa Bay. We still need to be ready for that, but not as significant storm surge in Tampa Bay, which is good news. But the bad news here is much worse storm surge here south of Tampa Bay. So Sarasota, Charlotte Harbor there, we need to be watching you guys there. Those harbors do tend to fill up when there's storm surge, and that's the most prone areas for storm surge. So Charlotte Harbor, we really need to be watching you guys here. 8 to 12 feet of storm surge. Like I said, I get excited with 8 inches of snow. This is 8 to 12 feet of that, but rain. But again, you get the point. This is 8 to 12 feet of that. And that is so significant, and this could be historic here south of Tampa Bay, where we are expecting significant storm surge. South of there, 6 to 9 feet, that's still very significant. Everybody in the Tampa Bay region, a little bit to the north, but especially to the south, needs to be ready for this historic storm surge. Homes and businesses along the coast and along the harbors there are going to likely be flooded, so everybody there needs to evacuate because flooding is going to be catastrophic here. We are expecting significant storm surge, as well as just that flooding, that inundation of rain is not going to cause a good situation. And we are also expecting, I don't have the graphic pulled up here, but we are also expecting major flooding in Central Florida as well. So if you're in Orlando and you think, oh, I'm good, I'm not near the coast, that's not the case, because we are expecting so much rain over these areas that there is going to be significant flooding, possibly catastrophic flooding inland as well. With all of this rain, it's not going to be a very good situation there. And again, that storm surge is going to be very significant, possibly historic, that major storm surge. We're watching you guys south of Tampa Bay. That's where we're expecting our worst storm surge here. And then talking about the winds right now, you can see we have significant probabilities of having hurricane force wind speeds south of Tampa. So Sarasota, Cape Coral, into Fort Myers region, we need to be ready for these destructive winds along with that storm surge. It's not going to be, like I said, a good situation here in Florida. Everybody should be evacuated by now. If you want to ride out that storm, make sure you are not by the coast and make sure you are in a secure area. I do not recommend it. You should be evacuating right now if you are just to the south of Tampa, and if you haven't already, I wouldn't recommend it though, because the interstates are really filling up. We're having a lot of traffic there. You guys probably should have done that earlier, but if you want to evacuate, you need to do that right now, as it is expected to make landfall tomorrow afternoon here in Florida. Those destructive winds are going to carry even inland possibly, as this storm won't really let up until it gets towards the Orlando area. Those winds are going to be very significant. Even those tropical storm force winds as it goes inland, that's still going to be significant wind as well, but especially when it makes landfall, those winds are going to tear apart houses. I mean, these are tornado force winds. When you think of tornado coming through your town, this is that on steroids pretty much, with a significant Category 3 hurricane coming through those areas right there. And then the last thing we're going to look at is what we have going on right now with those warnings, watches, and advisories right now. From Tampa all the way south into the Everglades region, we do have a hurricane warning. If you're in those areas, you need to be evacuated by now, especially those areas south of Tampa into, again, Sarasota, Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Charlotte Harbor, Port Charlotte. You guys all need to be evacuated. This is going to be a significant situation. Nothing you guys probably have ever experienced before here in Florida. This is a big storm. You guys need to take this seriously, and you should be already prepared. And if not already getting your last preparations ready, and hopefully evacuated by now. And if not, do that right now, because we are expecting major winds, historic flooding. Storm surge is going to be very significant here with Hurricane Ian, and as you can see, we do have some tropical storm warnings as well there in Key West. We're not expecting anything too significant there in Key West, but some minimal storm surge can be expected there in Key West. I wouldn't be out sightseeing or anything, because again, this is a very strong super storm. So that about wraps up this emergency update on tropical or Hurricane Ian here. Again, it is expected to strengthen and landfall in Florida as we go into later tomorrow afternoon. This is a significant storm. Again, historic storm surge, very destructive winds, and that flooding even as it starts to go inland into Florida. As always, stay prepared out there, and I'll see you soon with more weather.